My name is Emily.
Chelsea Anderson.
Jessica Herrera.
Tina Corey.
My name is Sarah Shaw.
My name is Taylor Corbin.
Savannah Seibert.
I worked at Father Bill's in Mainspring.
The agency I was at is Bay State Community Services, their STAR program in Weymouth.
My agency is at the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office in Dedham, Massachusetts.
Snug Harbor Elementary School.
I was at QCAP Head Start.
I was originally placed at Dove, which I talked about earlier, and then in early November I switched to Father Bill's in Mainspring, and I was located in Brockton in their Veterans Department.
The District Attorney's Office of Norfolk County.
Mostly as support staff, working one-on-one with the guests of the shelter, and then while in the housing department, I worked as a case manager.
My primary role was to work on the floor with the clients. I did some counseling. I was a primary counselor for one client and just helping with day-to-day tasks and supervising.
My primary role was, group facilitator at first. Like a co-facilitator at first, and then it became group facilitator. But I also had different intern responsibilities, so making intake packets and making copies of lesson plans and activities and different things like that. So I floated around a little.
I was a guidance counselor within the guidance department.
While I was at Head Start, I facilitated intakes, did behavioral observations, managed the front desk, went on home visits with other family service workers. I also went on home visits with family resource specialists and paperwork.
I held a small caseload in their grant and per diem program, which is transitional housing. So I just did case management for the men and women that stayed in there, and it's a program that they can stay up to 2 years. And then I also held a small caseload in SSVF, which is Supportive Services for Veterans and Families, and that's mainly financial assistance, moving costs, preventative work, and rapid rehousing for veterans. And then I also worked a little bit in the shelter in Brockton in their youth protocol, and again just worked with a few of the individuals in group work and individual work in the shelter.
During my internship, the primary role that I held was a civil advocate, advocating for people that are seeking restraining orders or harassment orders.
I didn't expect to be able to handle the population. In the beginning, I struggled with all the different issues, but I've learned that with confidence, I can really do anything I put my mind to.
I learned a lot about having confidence with residents and how to best approach different residents and kind of how to fine-tune my approach based on their personalities.
Dealing with different personalities in the agency and different ethical issues. So kind of just learning to be professional when staff members are kind of unprofessional towards you because you're younger or because they think you're not as experienced. So I learned a lot about professional boundaries and just staying professional in any situation.
Going into it, I didn't really have a lot of confidence. I just didn't think I really would know what I was doing, and now, I'm pretty confident that I could interact with any child about any situation.
There's so many different families that I needed to learn a lot of family dynamics in order to work with each client separately, and how the intake processes go, and how to just ask questions without looking at the documents.
From the very beginning, I just kept thinking, like, I feel so bad, like I want to help them, I want to do this for them and do that for them, but they don't feel bad for themselves, and they are just able to accomplish so much, and they just inspired me, I think, and so that was the biggest thing that I think learned from this.
The value in listening to people and hearing them in their situations, specifically in the court system. So many times that I saw things that were really difficult for clients, but just being able to be there and listen to them and create a space for them to be heard is really important, I think, in social work.
So I think in the future I've learned that one, I can really do anything, and then two, that through social work we could really help and affect the people and our clients in a positive way.
This experience gave me a lot of exposure with residential life, working with diverse clients. I had a lot of experience with individual services, groups, exposure to different systems, and I attended a lot of different trainings which I'll be using, I'm sure, in many other fields of work.
One, it's going to help me with professional boundaries because I've learned so many, because I've had to learn how to just not share anything with the inmates. So that's definitely helpful, and I think just knowing cultural competency as well, because I've learned how to deal with different religions and different ethnicities and things like that, since it's such a diverse population.
My supervisor, Chris, has just taught me so much about even the ways that I do interact with kids, you know, how to be more direct in conversation, and I think that everything that I've learned throughout this experience I'll be able to carry into my future, no matter where I am.
This experience will help me in the future, basically just how to work with families, how to do intakes, and to really focus on the family instead of myself.
I can see this experience really helping me in the future as I pursue jobs in social work. The district attorneys just works with so many different agencies and different disciplines and systems. I was able to learn how the legal system works. I was able to work with the police department and then some nonprofits in the area. And I think learning the dynamics of that exchange is going to be really important as I move forward in social work.